Hey guys, it's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I'm here today at Window Tint America in Clearwater, Florida. This is my best bud, Pete's business. He's been tinting windows for a very, very long time. He probably doesn't even want me to say it because that's just going to let you know how old he is, and he's not really into getting older like a lot of us are not really into getting older. But I'm here today, as you can see, with my brand new Ford Focus RS, and I just want to go over some of the finer details of what goes into a good window tint. You know, it's not just about having the Bentley of window tint. You know, it includes getting that lifetime warranty. It includes having that installer, that this isn't some side job. This isn't something that they're just doing to make ends meet, that they have an actual passion for. And that's what I love about Pete and Window Tint America is not only does the guy have a passion for cars, motorcycles, boats, all these fast, crazy things, but he also has a passion for the detail that he puts into people's cars with the window tint. I don't think a lot of people give their windows enough credit. Everybody's so concerned about what the paint job looks like, what wheels they're running. Guess what? When somebody sees your ride going down the road and they see those badass windows all dark tinted, looking nice and clean and whatnot, it adds that extra something to your car. And I think that's what a lot of people want, is they want the protection from the sun, but they also want that look. So let's go ahead and see some of the things that we're going to do as we go through this window tint experience. All right, guys, I'm back in a special section of Window Tint America. This is the back room where you're going to find all the window tint that is stored here. And one thing I want to start off with, and probably the most important, is Window Tint America was one of the first in the area to have what's right in front of us. This is a computer program for specifically cutting window tint. Now, what's awesome about this program is that it stores and is updated all the time with new models that come out, any revisions, things like that. I'm going to show you a little bit later. If your window tinter is cutting by hand, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, guys. And I'm not just talking about some miscut window tint. I'm talking about also damage to your car. And that's something that you definitely don't want, especially if you're bringing in a brand new car, your new baby, your new girl home. So let's go ahead and just take a look. So I have that new Ford Focus RS, and since it's a four-door hatch, Pete was able to pull up with the computer system. You'll see on the screen the actual cuts for the doors, front and rear, the side windows, and the back window. So this covers it all. And as you can see also on the screen, you could do any kind of sun visor strip across the front of the windshield. Now, here are some advantages. So you have this computer system here running these programs. He could pull up any car of your choice. The thing that makes it all come together is right next to it, he has the actual electric cutter. Now, these two things work together in a nice dance partnership to make what is on the screen appear in the actual window tint. Now, some benefits to using this cutter here is that you're going to get consistent cuts every single time. Window Tint America does a lot of work with local dealerships, big brands like Acura and Audi and Honda. Pete can actually cut several cars of windows all at the same time. So if he knows that he's got a bunch of Audi A5s coming in, he could do a bunch of sets and have that ready to go. And because of this machine right here, this is what allows him to not have to cut it on the car like lesser window tinters are doing. And the nice thing, like I said, is every single time you're gonna get a consistent cut. So let me just go ahead and show you the machine. It's actually standing on its own in the back room area right next to the computer. And this is, like I said, what's going to give you that high quality window tint that Window Tint America is known for providing. In a few seconds, I'm going to go ahead and show you how the machine works and cuts the tint. And then I'm also going to show you some of those things that could go wrong if you're using one of those lesser window tinters that are doing it by hand. So let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so once we're ready to choose our next window to provide the film for, Window Tint America goes ahead and clicks on the link that takes them to this screen. Now, if you look closely, there's our patterns all laid out. It's a really nice system because it allows Window Tint America to not waste a bunch of window tint, which obviously is going to help their better bottom line and also pass on a good deal to everybody out there. So Pete's going to go ahead and select which window he wants to go ahead and plot. And then after selecting that, he's going to go ahead and hit the cut. Now let's go over to the plotter, and here's the plotter in action. All right, so the information has been sent over to the plotter, and as you can see, the plotter, it's doing its job. Now, the reason why in the industry they call it a plotter is because it's actually taking this knife points and cutting the film. It's sort of like plotting a blueprint for a house or a building. And as you can see, you know, it moves so quickly and effortlessly. And this is what allows you to get that amazing consistency in the film. I hope if you're bringing your car, truck, or whatever other vehicle, if you're bringing it somewhere else because you don't live in Clearwater, Florida, make sure they have one of these. And if you do live in Clearwater, Florida, you gotta come see Pete and Window Tint America. He is going to take really good care of you and your baby. All right, so here's the next step. After it's plotted and trimmed, Pete then takes the film and puts it up against this piece of glass so that he can prepare it and work with it when he's ready to do so. Now, the whole process of window tinting, you know, it's almost like there's an art to it. Where it gets really tricky is with tougher spots, like if you have a big wing. I know when I had my Civic Type R, to do the rear window, the rear wing has to come off. And a lot of people don't realize is that there's a process called shrinking, and they actually have to put the tint on the outside to get that done, and then it gets removed and put and placed permanently to the inside of the window. That's going to help make sure that all the curves are formed perfectly and you're not going to get any bubbling. But this is just the next step to Pete getting that window tint finally onto my Ford Focus windows. All right, guys, so the window tint process is going really well. Pete has the tint up. It's now drying and adhering to the glass. One thing you need to be aware of is that during those colder times of the year, it is going to take a little bit longer to dry and adhere to the windows. So definitely, you know, depending on the day, depending on how cold it is outside, those types of things, that is going to determine how long this whole process takes. But as you can see, so far so good. She's looking really nice with that nitrous blue and the dark tinted windows. But there will definitely be more to come, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so Pete wrapped up the window tint, and as you can see, it looks wonderful. You know, something I was talking about earlier is that if your window tinter is gonna cut your tint by hand, you need to be careful with that. One place where you could see a lot of damage is around your window frames if that window tinter slips with the razor blade. You'll see a lot of cuts into the actual side plastic. You'll see a lot of cuts over here on the rubber stripping. There's that plastic I was telling you about. Down here on the lower portion of the door would be a lot of cutting. So you really want to stay away from people that are doing it the old-fashioned way. In this situation, old-fashioned is not the best way to do it. You want somebody who uses the newer technology like Window Tint America and gets the job done right the first time. I'm very impressed, like always, with Pete's work. I definitely think you'd agree that the window tint really just makes the Focus RS stand out even more, especially in that nitrous blue color. And, you know, like I keep saying, it's all about sharing the love, sharing the passion for cars, for doing things to them, modifying them, customizing them, all those great things. If you have a ride that you would like featured on my channel, leave me a line in the comment section. Contact me on my website, raitisrides.com. We'll get you featured here. Like always, I'm gonna see you on the next ride.